So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Walter from Verbal Herb, and it is Wealth Wednesdays where we talk about earning money and saving money and everything in between. Of course, Walter is a financial guru, and he has been that for nearly 30 years now, advising a whole bunch of people, including that of Kanye West, a whole lot of athletes, and they're still knocking on his door to try to get him to help them with their financial needs. And so we are so fortunate to have him here with us on Wednesdays to impart some knowledge on us about, as I said, making and saving money. Of course, a lot of people here have been helped out tremendously, whether it's buying a house, uh, improving their credit, getting into the stock market, and a whole host of other things. And so for this particular day, we're going to talk about Invest Fest that took place over this weekend. And of course, I'll get into that just a little bit more. If you guys could do us a favor, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. Of course, we have ways to donate there at the bottom of the screen: Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. And become a member if you want to do that as well. Hello, Tracy and Thunder. And so, Walter, what say you before we get started?
I say it's time to own some stuff. I'm excited. This is an easy subject. Should be an easy subject for everybody. Everyone should be able to understand this today.
All right. So, and of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Invest Fest, and Walter is going to continue on with the power of ownership. So I'll let him handle that. The Pioneer, how you doing? Black America, what's going on with you? So I want to give everybody just a little bit more time to get in before we get started. People be like, "What are we talking about?" Of course, we always venture into other topics, which is okay as well. And so I also like to say that the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even. And of course, that includes being financially literate as well, because we can't fight the power if we ain't got the dollar. Oh, put that on the t-shirt. Anyway, who else is on here? Yanni, how you doing? All right, the Pioneer says, I haven't heard of an Invest Fest until just a few minutes ago. Well, that makes two of us. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so Invest Fest actually took place over this past weekend, and hopefully y'all can see that. It was packed with 3 nights of a lot of celebrities and entrepreneurs and athletes and entertainers, you name it, they were there. And the purpose of Invest Fest was to talk about financial empowerment and self-motivation. They focused on things like real estate, cryptocurrency, business. There's entertainment, stocks, student loans, culture, and a whole host of other things. Now, it was hosted by that of Earn Your Leisure, which is a show that comes on YouTube. And it is hosted by that of Rashad Bilal and Troy Millings, where they basically talk about things financially, all things financially, and they mix it in with pop culture. So they might bring in someone like a Steve Harvey, which I'm going to show you guys a clip of. He was there along with that of Tyler Perry. You had Eric Thomas, as most people know him as E.T. He's a motivational speaker. Who else? They have Angela Yee, which she just announced that she's no longer part of the Breakfast Club. Doesn't sound like too many people were mad at that. He had T.I., and as y'all can see on this poster, it was a whole host of people there. All right, and so as I said, I didn't know about it, Pioneer. I didn't know about it either. I don't know if Walter knew about it, but this is their actually second annual Invest Fest. And they had it in Atlanta. Sounds like they're going to have it there again, but they are going to have it again in London. And so they are expanding the brand. So it had a whole bunch of sponsors. I guess BET was one. Steve Harvey, his company, he's actually partnered with Earn Your Leisure to try to do things like this. And so, hello, Jessica. And I want to show y'all, let's see here, a clip of Steve Harvey. And I think it's so important. Now, I want to say this off the top. I know that, Steve Harvey has said some things that we don't agree with, but a broke clock is right at least 2 times a day. And, I think Steve Harvey does have the street cred as far as financially to speak on how to go get it, right? Hello, Brother Reggie. How you doing? So I'm going to show y'all this clip. Here we go.
something you start dreaming about, and then you start figuring out the how-to. Well, I got news for you. The how-to ain't none of your business. The how-to is up to God. You got to be willing to do the work and put in the faith. See, that's really all it is. I know a lot of people got education broke as hell, so I've already figured it out. There ain't your education. As a matter of fact, education ain't even in the Bible. They ain't never mentioned Erie in the Bible. They got no scriptures about Harvard, Yale. It's not Morehouse ain't even in the Bible. As much as you'd like it to be, it's not in there. But you know what's in there though? Dreams, visions. A man without a dream or a vision shall perish. It don't say a man without education will perish. So quit worrying about if you don't have the education, if you don't have all the credentials. You need the vision and you got to be ready to work. And look, man, when God puts something in your imagination, when He put it in your heart, you got to go for it. I was talking to you before the thing started. You know the hardest thing to get people about success, the hardest thing is to start. Start, man. Most people are frozen with fear, and you're frozen with the how-to. You can't figure out how to make $1 million, so you never start. You ain't got to know how to make $1 million. Who told you that? You got to start, man. You got to take a leap of faith. Quit tripping yourself out of the blessing because you worried about the how-to. God ain't nowhere in the Bible told you to figure it out. He said, ask, believe, receive. Then he said, faith without works is dead. You ain't got to know the whole Bible. I don't know the 6 scriptures. I think I've done all 6 of them already.
All right. And so as you saw there, that was Steve Harvey. I want to say that Steve Harvey is worth probably about $400 million. Of course, you guys know his story. Hello, Monet. Of course, you guys know his story. He went from, rags to riches, to rags to riches, rags to riches, and now he's super rich. And so, yes, 19 Keys Pioneer was also there. And he is actually a part of Earn Your Leisure. I guess they talk about real estate and things like that. And so, as I said, I didn't know that they even had it, which is why I asked, why weren't you at Invest Fest? I asked that question as a broad question because a lot of people didn't know about it. They said they had like 12,000 people in attendance at, forget what it was, Atlanta World Center Conference, something like that. And it said they were actually sold out for all 3 days. And it was wall-to-wall people there trying to soak up the knowledge that was going forth there. And so we're going to talk about it. Well, maybe not it exactly because we weren't there. But of course, Walter is just as knowledgeable. In fact, I can envision him sitting there on the stage giving what he knows. And in fact, Walter has sat on many of symposiums. And Walter will tell you about the ones that he sat on. And he was also featured in Billboard magazine as a financial expert and a whole host of other things. So Walter does have a heavyweight belt himself in regards to financial advising and all of that. And so, as I said before, we are fortunate to have him here. Now, this typically is not one of our larger scale audiences, if you will, but that's okay because some people are maybe busy right now. And then the people who show up every week are the ones that want to do better financially. And so with that being said, I want to end off what Steve Harvey said. All it takes is a dream and to act on those things. Don't try to figure out. Of course, you're going to figure out a little bit, but don't try to get tripped out on, like he said, if you want to make $1 million, he says, just get started. Don't try to figure out everything all at once. Just keep moving. Of course, a lot of people say fall forward or stumble forward, which means that while you're taking action, yeah, you might make some mistakes, but the thing is don't quit. But if you don't at least have the vision, then how will you get started if you don't even know what it is you're dreaming about? And so, Walter, I'm going to give it over to you, and then we'll jump into the comment section. And Black America says, I need help with my money. Well, you're at the right spot. So, yes.
Well, that symposium, there's a lot of people. I follow Marcus Barney. I mean, there's a lot of cats on there. The credit dude, I've actually spoken to him. He's phenomenal when it comes to building credit. You guys, I apologize. I got the squeaky chair. I keep saying I'm gonna throw that chair away, but sometimes I like to have someone sit next to me. I always give them the squeaky chair. That's bent over, as Pastor Lotta would say. I need another chair. So these symposiums are actually, these things work. Now I'm glad that Steve Harvey was there because he's come a long ways. I know a lot. He says a lot of stuff off the cuff, and I get it. He was a comedian. If you have never been insulted by a comedian, then you have not been alive in this country, right? Because they insult everybody. But he said something that stuck out: is education is not in the Bible. Now, and the crazy part is because as Black people, because that's what we're talking about right now, right? Tend to lean heavy on schools, Morehouse, Spelman, all these schools that Black people say, I went to this school, and that makes you higher on the totem pole. And I like what he said about education, because honestly, most of those people, like for instance, most of the people that are really balling out, making big money, making moves, a lot of those people don't have college degrees. Matter of fact, the people that don't have college degrees, a lot of the people hired people with college degrees to actually help them run their business. I know me being the same. When I get help, some of the people that do help me, they have college degrees, and I spent like 2 minutes in college. So I do like what he said about that, because I think Black people get caught up on religion and we get caught up on education. In my opinion, two of them have very little to do with someone's success. I did hear Steve Harvey say you got to leave it up to God, but in my opinion, I think if you do the work, you will succeed. And here's what I mean by that. Hell no, I ain't throwing this chair away. It's matches. So there are a lot of heathens, a lot of people that believe in the devil, that worship the devil, that are extremely successful. And I've met a lot of them. I'm not saying I'm one of them, but I travel in all circles. You got to know what the hell everybody's doing. And I tell you, some of the most heathenous people have had the most success, which makes me believe that most of it has to do with you, right? Like I always say, if we really believe in this true God and he or she acts this way, when somebody gets on stage and say, thank God, booty twerking on a video of the year, shake that ass super fast, thank God, hallelujah. I don't think God's up there handing out twerking fast Emmys. So I get really hesitant when someone says, oh, give it to God. I mean, you give it to God in the sense that you do the work and then you give it to a higher power that sees over us. But just some of y'all just saying, oh, I'm going to praise Jesus and he's showing up. No, he's not. He ain't coming because he's here. I mean, for those of you that follow Christianity, God, if I'm correct, is omnipresent. Doesn't that mean he's everywhere? People say, oh, Jesus is coming back. No, fool. If you believe he's omnipresent, he's already here. Matter of fact, Jesus would be in the cigar, this mouse. So you know what I'm saying? This pen is Jesus. If he's omnipresent, he's everywhere. So I believe that we need to focus on hustle. Like Steve said, it's hard work, period. Education is cool. But what I'm finding is a lot of kids that go to school that don't have a trade or something like, I'm going to school for coding. Or I'm going to school to make cigars. Or I'm going to school to make phones. Or a certain trade. A lot of those guys come out and they wander. How many of you guys have kids, no kids, that have college degrees and they're not even using them? Matter of fact, I'm just going to touch on a conversation I had earlier with a millennial, is they have this whole depression thing. So kids go to school and they come out and it's like, oh, it's fun at school. And then we get out, it's like, oh shit, now we got to get to work. And all of a sudden I'm depressed because I don't know what to do. So I think it's hustle and I think it's drive. I think Steve made a fantastic point with that.
Yep, I absolutely agree with you. And thank you, Thunder, so much. I love and appreciate you for that. So I see a lot of people that also like that clip of Steve Harvey basically saying that, it's not education. He of course referenced the Bible, but yeah, it's you have to have a vision of what it is you want to do. Because, you know, a lot of times, and I've been guilty of this before. So anything that I say here, I'm not saying you people and you, I'm talking about me too. A lot of times people will wake up and don't have an earthly idea of what they're going to do today or on that day, or they don't go to bed saying, okay, I accomplished this. I did this to achieve my goals and my dreams. Now, when I wake up tomorrow, I am going to do A, B, C, and D. Some people just wake up and say, well, I'm going to let the day tell me what to do, opposed to me controlling my day. And that starts with having a dream and some goals and some visions of actually what it is you want to do. And of course, you know, once you get it in your head now, usually your dreams are what drives you, right? Because a lot of people don't really know what their purpose is in life. And that's fair. So a lot of people haven't gotten to that point yet. But boy, when you find out what it is, you will be driven to do it. And as my mom would always say, and of course, a whole lot of other people say, try to find something that you would do, even if it didn't pay you and you would still love it, right? Because there's a lot of people who go to work every day and they earn a lot of money, but they hate it. They hate it because they know that they weren't put here to just do that. They were also put here to do something else, which we all are, regardless of what system you believe in, God, the universe, whatever it is. We were all put here for a purpose. We all have gifts and talents. And again, when we find out what those are, then we will be unstoppable. So I'm going to get to you guys' comments before I give it back to Walter. And Pioneer says, what about all of these nickels going to school and getting degrees in criminal justice and working at Target and Best Buy? Well, you know, I will say this about, because I know people who have degrees in criminal justice and they're actually doing something else with it. I think a lot of people went into criminal justice probably for the money, and maybe they have a passion for it. Now, criminal justice can range from anything from being working at a juvenile center and everything else, right? But I think once they get in there, they're like, yeah, I ain't trying to do this, especially if you got a job in a prison or something like that. It's just not for everybody. So a lot of people end up doing something else. And I even saw a situation where a teacher, he actually quit his job and went to become a manager at Walmart because he says, I'm making more as a manager at Walmart than I am being a teacher. Said, I would rather teach, but shit, I got to pay my bills, right? And Monet, he says, yep, I have a degree and a skill from it, but I'm not using the degree in my work field. And that's true for a lot of people. And Christopher Jones, how you doing? He said, a lot of people have education, doesn't guarantee you will get the job. You went to college to get the degree in, and that is absolutely correct. A lot of people end up doing something else. And Black America says you cannot control your day. Oh, sure, you can control your day, because the people that do not control their day, the day does control you. And when I say control your day, that means you get up with a purpose, whether you have it written down on the calendar, you have it written down on a piece of paper. Okay, I need to do this, that, and the other. For me, I know what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to get up. I'm probably going to exercise first. Then I'm going to come back home, and then I'm, going to obviously shower. Then I'm going to get to making videos and some other stuff that I do. And so I know what I'm going to do every moment of the day up until a certain time. I personally get up at like 4:30 and 5 o'clock so that I can get done early and stare at the ceiling if I want to do that. But yes, I control my day. And another thing about controlling your day is a lot, especially now with this inception of the cell phone. You know what happens when you pick up your cell phone early in the morning before you get out of bed? You don't get out of bed until another hour or two later, because you end up scrolling and you're in the lives of somebody else. And so guess what? Now your cell phone is controlling you along with the day controlling you. So you absolutely do have the power to control your day. And then so let's see here. And TM1, how you doing? It says it must be a passion. You better believe it. And then Christopher says Matthew 6:33. You have to tell me what that is. And Black America says you can control your actions. Absolutely. Thunder says, question, is it better to put rental property in an LLC, a trust, or my own personal name? Walter, that's for you.
Well, the technical answer is you should have it in an LLC or a trust or something. Basically, what they're saying is you want to keep it away from you. So, for instance, if I have my apartment building in an LLC or a charitable trust or a family foundation, I don't own that. The corporation doesn't have a life. So if I get sued, let's say the LLC gets sued, And if the LLC is done properly, and most people don't do an LLC properly. I mean, you need to take minutes every year. You need to file those things you need to do to keep your LLC up and running. But having it in LLC, what happens is it keeps whatever happens in the LLC away from you. So you hear rich people say, I ain't got it. I don't have nothing in my name. Donald Trump is one of those people where, and it's smart, they don't have anything in their name. So if something happens, they, you know, like Donald Trump he's filed bankruptcy so many times, and a lot of companies do that. They file bankruptcy, like look at Hertz and a lot of these other companies that will be on the ropes, and then you turn around and boom, they're back up. So having your stuff in a corporation LLC, just because let's say that property, you own an investment property and it's in the LLC and it goes south and you need to walk away from the loans and all that, that's not you, it's your company. So, but you also, you know, as far as credit, you need to buy it in the company name, and there's other things you need to do to protect you as far as loans. But as far as protecting yourself from lawsuits, someone gets hurt or trips and falls, it's good to have it in some sort of entity like an LLC. But with that being said, just get one, because starting an LLC, which takes a few weeks, I've seen people say, I'm still waiting on my LLC documents. You big dummy, just get it. You can go into escrow on a property. You can start the process and always say, you know what, I'm going to put it in my LLC. I'm going to move it. The problem is, and this is why I want to talk about ownership today, is we don't own stuff, or we don't get the ball rolling. We keep waiting for all these things. So what I say is just go for it. If you want to buy something, a piece of real estate, just buy it. Buy it, start the process. I tell you guys, and my sister would tell you, I'm the dreamer. I'm not the dreamer in the family, but I'm like I would always come home with some wild shit. Like, man, I saw my neighbor have a chicken, we could sell eggs. As soon as they go to sleep, I'm kidnapping that chicken. Every night at midnight, I'm getting the egg. Whatever, I would just come with the craziest shit. But even now, as I've grown up, I find myself like this dream board behind me, the black one, and I have a bunch of those. I have them all over my house. Just things I want to do. By putting something in front of you and going for it, even if you screw it up, sooner or later, you will get it right. The brain has something called the reticular activator. Remember that game Slugbug? Like you see Slugbug. Or if you say, okay, today we're going to play Blue BMW. Your brain, because it's focusing, will see all the blue BMWs. You'll be walking down the street and see a blue BMW pass by you. So by having your goals and things in front of you, your reticular activator, the reticular activators can see it. So I've had people say, oh, do you have all that stuff yet? And that's some of the dumbest shit I ever heard. Or do you have one of those yet? No, fool. It's called my future. That's why it's on the board. And that's just a diversion for people that ain't going to get it. So put it in front of you and go for it. Like I used to say, oh, I want an Airbnb. And I would keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it. And you guys, I don't care how long you need to say it. F them. If you need to say it for 20 years, say it for 20 years. So I said, I want this. And I have people say, oh, you keep saying that. But boom, now you got it, right? Or I want this. You know, I have a Range Rover on my dream board. That Range Rover is parked in my drive. Well, not right now because it's being rented out. But I always wanted that Range Rover. And then one day I was at an auto auction and I saw one sitting over there by itself. It had this mileage, year, and everything I wanted. And I was able to finance it. Long story short, it sits in my driveway when it's not rented out. And there's quite a few things on that dream board that is in my household. Am I saying that right? Particular activator? Oh,
yeah, Thunder. He likes the older ladies, and he actually, talks about them using like Jerry Curl, World Curls activator.
Oh, Lord have mercy. We talking activator, the Soul Glow shit. Yeah. So some of y'all need to put that dream board away. Homeboy from Coming to America, he ain't coming back, right? So the point I'm making is, you just pull the trigger. And you have to let the people around you, you have to blow them out. That's where you have to learn silence and patience. Pick up a habit, cigars, drinking, shit, I don't know. Pick up something to keep you from slapping the shit out of them. Sometimes I have to just get in the car and just take a drive because people don't understand what's in your mind. So a lot of us have goals and dreams that we don't chase because we worry about what people think. So what I say is just go for it. And the guy or girl that makes the most mistakes is the most successful in the room. That makes sense, right? Who's missed more shots than Michael Jordan? Nobody.
Look at this
I mean,
question from Thunder. Says I
that's
tried
right.
talking about investing in real estate with my family, but all they can do is come up with negatives like roof pipe, taxes. Any suggestions? Should I move on?
Yeah, stop talking to them idiots. Leave those people alone.
Or that's his family.
Well, I got idiots in my family. I stop fucking with them. I mean, isn't there a rap song like that? I ain't gonna mess with you. I mean, I love hip hop because they help you save time. Cut them loose. Stop sharing your dreams with. Because if somebody says, "Oh, you go, this is a great idea," and somebody comes up with a negative, you should just exit them out your life unless you see them at the family barbecue, unless you're married to one of them, and then you see them at whoopee time. I don't know, but you need to make sure that you stop talking to them fools. If you tell somebody something once and they come up with a negative, cut them loose because it takes too damn long to convince a fool to do something. And you don't, what may be the issue is you may be needing validation. Sometimes you just have to do it on your own. Go first. I'm telling you, go first and you keep it moving. I am funny. I appreciate that. And you know, the crazy part is, speaking of my own goals, I had an Uber driver heard me on the phone. He goes, "Have you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy?" I said, "I've actually done it here at the Improv." He goes, "Why don't you do it?" And I said, I was stepping on. I was worrying about what he goes, "You were worrying about what people think?" I was like, damn, this fool just caught me my own message.
And who set you up to do that?
I don't know. I think it was you. Right? I remember the show I did at the Improv, and I had them motherfuckers laughing. Anyways, so just pick something and go for it. And the show, we want to stick on topic, is about ownership. If you own something, I don't care what it is, man. If you own, like right now, this is my iPhone. I own it. I could put this on Craigslist right now and offer up and sell this phone today if I needed the money to start something. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna mess with you. Okay, I don't listen to hip hop that much, but I know the beat. You know what song I'm talking about.
You talking about Big Sean. I don't what he says, "I don't F with you."
Yeah, that's the song I'm talking about. Yeah. So pick something that you think you're good at and go for it. Now, you should share your vision with people, but if they're negative, move on. Right? It's like getting pregnant. Oh, okay. I guess I ain't trying to get nobody else pregnant. That just makes me sick to my stomach.
So he's basically saying, is there ever a good time? It happens when it happens. So you
get pregnant? There's never a good time to get pregnant. In my experience, no. But pick something you want to do and just try it. Like I tell you guys, like when I started my verbal herb, and people, oh my God, you're doing clothing line, you're doing clothes now. I'm like, yes, F you, I'm doing clothes. And I have to say, I don't need your permission. I would rather die broke as hell, but know that I spent my every waking moment believing, dreaming, like Air Supply style. Who is that? Air Supply? Don't stop believing, whoever it is. I would rather
That's Journey, brother. That's Journey. Huh? That's Journey.
Journey, okay, Journey, Air Supply. They all, all white dudes with long hair. They all came at the same time. So I would rather have that song playing in my mind and going for it versus reality, which is not doing shit. Right? Like even these candles. I cannot tell you how many people laughed at me for starting this candle business. But you know what? You see me every time I'm showing burning these candles. You know who made these candles? We did in my house. So instead of spending $15-20 a candle, we make them ourselves. So even if I don't sell one candle, which ain't gonna happen, The fact that I can make my own candles for the rest of my life and not spend $200 a month on candles is huge to me. If you take, here we go, 200 a month, 30 years, 12%, invested, that's $700,000. Some of you guys are spending money on stuff that you can make yourself. See, making money doesn't necessarily have to be bringing in income. It can be saving money too. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to go to the club or happy hour 3 times a week, and I used to go drink. Me and my buddies, and we spend $200-300 between a few of us, and we have some freaks with us or some women. Then the bill would be $500, and that's assuming we didn't end up at a restaurant in a hotel. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's just foolishness. Now, what I do is, and it's funny, I don't even drink this. It'll sit here all day. But that cutting out the happy hour and all that stuff out of my life is money back in my pocket. So that's money that I can now invest, if that makes sense. See what I'm saying? Yeah, body oils, candles, incense, all that stuff. You guys, if you can make sense, I was going to say, if you can make dollars, you can make sense. So if you can make sense, you can make candles, body lotion, scrubs. Some of y'all buying baby oil from the store, you can make your own. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And the other thing too, Thunder says, is it possible to make body oil that smells like Virginia Slims? I know what you're talking about, Slim, because it's older women say so stupid. Smoke Virginia Slims. I forgot what I was about to say. Crazy. I really did forget what I was going to. Yeah. I mean, as far as ownership and wanting to start a business, of course, when you tell it to certain, you know who you can talk to, right? Most of us know the people that if we say, hey, I got this idea, then they're going to be like, somebody already got that. Well, I don't know about all of that. They're going to have 100 reasons as to why you shouldn't do it. And if you're not strong in your convictions about what it is you want to do, then you'll let them sway you. You say, you know what? You're right. There, there's already that exists, but you think about the car. Henry Ford, I know he wasn't the first one to make it, but he was the first one, from what I understand, to put it on the conveyor belt, assembly system, and all of that. Imagine if somebody else said, well, he's already doing it. So I don't know. We'll just not make any more cars. So now there's a different variety of cars. So the point that I'm making is, yeah, you got to shrug off the haters and the naysayers. And that might even include you not answering the phone to certain people. Like, there's people that I don't answer the phone to. Now, a lot of times I admit I don't answer the phone because I'm doing something. But if your phone rings, that person is going to call, what my mom used to say, with the Drudge Report. They're going to call and, woe is me, this, that, and the other. They're not adding anything to your day. And I'm not saying we should just talk to people because it's lucrative, but at least the conversation should be mentally stimulating and at the very least not negative, right? So sometimes you're going to find yourself not talking to a lot of people if you want to get things done. They say in business or anything that you want to do, athletes or whatever, you got to have laser vision focus. And you also got to think about race horses. What do they do to race horses? What do they put on race horses? They put on blinders so that they can only see forward. They can't see to the left. They can't see to the right. They only look forward because they don't want them getting distracted by everything that's going on around them. And so we got to think like a racehorse. Not saying that we are a horse, but think like one, in that I'm going to look forward to whatever it is I got to do, laser vision focus, and cut out everything else that does not matter and that delays me from getting to the goal that much faster. Because often the reason why we don't get there fast enough is because we are too distracted by a whole lot of other stuff that has nothing to do with what we're trying to do. So, and Don, and how you doing? He says, laugh my ass off. And Pioneer says, I know dudes who do that, but I wasn't the type that spends hundreds of dollars on a night on liquor clubs and hotel rooms. If I spent that much, I just pay a few women directly. Seriously. Exactly. And LB, how you doing? He says, I had to cut someone off recently for that very reason. Yeah, it feels kind of bad at the beginning, but then when you start to see yourself moving towards your goals and you don't have them as an anchor or dead weight, you're like, it wasn't that bad after all. Now, that don't mean to say that you can't still love them. You just have to love them from a distance. And as they also say, if you build it, they will come. And that's just human nature. A lot of people are like, well, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I know you want to build this iPhone where it does this, that, and the other, and this Apple computer, but nah, I'm good. And then when it's a multi-billion-dollar company, then people are kicking themselves, right? But that's human nature.
I want y'all to do this. Everybody do this. That's the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Heisman is. Somebody tried to steal his dream. He's like, oh, hell to the no. Kiss my. You have to learn the Heisman. I cut people off all the time. Cut them loose, because you have to pick the 5 people you spend the most time with. You will be the average of them. And if you're the smartest one in the group, get a new group. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if people are sucking from you, you become weakness. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, and I love this thing about the pioneer spending money on women. We've done that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've not done that. I don't know why y'all do that, but I guess it's entertainment. Maybe you're getting something out of it in the long run. I don't know. But yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why we do it.
Okay.
Because that energy builds up, and then you sitting there. We've all done it. Be honest. You spend money on women. You go out, start with one drink, and before you know it, you're like, "Oh, this is stupid." Have you ever heard the custom pastor talk? I'm gonna whisper this. They can't hear it they won't be able to hear it. I had, Jesus, I'm sorry, whatever y'all believe in. I had a dude tell me, Walter, before you go out with a woman or make a business decision with her, ejaculate first. I was like, oh. Listen, I'm giving game right here. Men make decisions based on that built up energy. Think about it, fellas. If you go out, you spend money on a girl, drinks, you spend hundreds of dollars going out, y'all have the greatest sex. You wake up in the morning and go, damn, that was stupid. Matter of fact, some of y'all right after ejaculation go, what in the hell? Man, the look is still on your face before you come to your senses. Anyways, that's why guys do it. Why do guys do stuff? It's if women wasn't involved, we'd be working at Taco Bell, driving the B210 and drinking 40s with our homies. Tell me I'm lying. But you know what I'm saying?
I'm just going to take your word for it. But I mean, you can really think about it. I guess it makes sense, because like you said, from what I understand what men say, if you're pursuing a woman or whatever, I'm not saying that's all that's on your mind, but yeah, I'm sure it's, somewhere close to being that's all that's on your mind. And so in your words, if you do what you got to do before you hang out with with her or whatever, then I would guess you would make better decisions, and you're not focused on, oh, that's a nice dress. Oh, and all that other stuff. You're really focused on getting to know her and listening to what she's saying, opposed to looking at how she looks.
Cut a lot of people in my family. What is that? I was trying to read that last comment. Don't worry about it.
Which one? So I think a lot of people also call family if I didn't, God will, and they really don't want that because it is dangerous. Yes, indeed. I mean, who is for you and who is not for you. I think we all know that, right? I think a lot of times because it is family or close friends, we have this thing called guilt. And it's like, man, I don't want to come off as mean if I cut them loose or this, that, and the other. But it's like, are you going to be more loyal to you and pursuing your dreams and fulfilling them, or more loyal to people who could care less what you do as long as you continue entertaining them? So I think that's kind of how we look at it. But yeah, I mean, it sucks to have to do that. Nevertheless, hey, Stacy, how you doing? And Puppet times 13, how you doing? It says very true. Pioneer says, I spent money directly on women for massages and lap dances. I used to spend money on clothes, fixing up cars, jewelry, etc., to attract women for a second, but then realized it was a little futile. Yes, indeed. And good afternoon back at you, Stacy. And you also say, hello from Los Angeles, California. How's it going out there? And Thunder says, Denny's has a senior citizen 15% off, and most of those ladies can't drink because they're on medication. I told you he liked them. Oh, you know what? I can't remember where I was the other day, but I saw some slips, and I was like, you know what? Thunder would appreciate the slips that women wear under their dresses. You know, they don't do that no more. But I did think of you. Yes, indeed, Stacy Black first. And Albie says, take notes, young men. Real game here. Absolutely. Miss Coulter, how you doing? Tay says, Khalid made like $120 at my house the other night, fixing things and helping us out. He said, I know so-and-so could have easily done this. We said so-and-so isn't reliable. He got it all done in one night. Sometimes we got to be the reliable person and stop worrying about trying to help everyone else work. Absolutely. So that is my niece talking about my nephew, which is Walter's daughter-in-law, and his son, who is a computer genius, who taught himself how to fix computers at the age of 13 when his father gave him a computer and he broke it down and learned how to fix it. And I mean, he is so good that he can plug into your computer where you're at and try to troubleshoot your computer. He's been on my computer while I'm in Houston and he's in California. So absolutely, Tay, very good point. And Christopher says, I kind of keep to myself my ideas and inventions and my creativity. You got to, because the minute you put it out there and you tell people and they're not with it, it does take something from you because it takes the wind out of your sails. You got to, as you know, my good friends, mom used to always say, I could show you better than I could tell you. And so Albie says that should be taught to all young men before puberty. I'm going to let y'all talk about that. And Damon says, can an old man take notes? Absolutely. Stacy says I have to cut some family off. And Thunder says, what I'm going to have to do is work somewhere in silence. And when I finish it, keep it on the low. You can do that, you know. And then Black America says, she said, nice dress. Men don't care about what a woman has on. Well, how about what's under the dress? Thunder, you say, what I found out is when a hater finds out that you have something that you didn't tell anybody about, the hater never tells anybody, especially if it's something great or grand, you know it. And Stacy says, I was looking for a slip a few months ago. And you said, I keep my mouth shut. Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, you really have to, it's like you have to guard those things sometimes and guard them, because whether we know it or not, the things people say to us, it does affect us. And I guess you have to work out at being strong enough to say, you know what, F you, as Walter say, giving them the Heisman. And sometimes you got to do it mentally, give people the Heisman. But for some people, it ain't always easy. And it does make you feel bad or make you feel like a failure, or like, oh, yeah, you're right, that's a stupid idea. Who was I to think about having another clothing line? And I think about somebody like Rihanna. Rihanna is a billionaire. She started off as an artist. She moved it to, I think it was her makeup line. And then she's got a clothing line, a lingerie line. And now she's selling soap and perfume. Her perfume is going for $140. I'm like, I just had to get a sample of it for now. But the point that I'm making is that the beauty industry is inundated with that stuff. But that didn't stop her from making a bar of soap. So, you know, I'm sure she's probably already sold out. But if it's something you really want to do, just go for it. Walter? And Christopher says you have to guard your energy and spirit. You absolutely have to do that, because your energy is not right. Then how will you pursue your dreams? You got to be excited, and you have to be focused and goal oriented to do that. You can't always be, you know, trying to weed and seed out people in the negativity. And I'll tell you, I learned this from Walter, because, you know, Walter would always get on me a lot, talking about, you always doing this and that. You know, I don't answer my phone unless people are talking about, you know, money or whatever, especially it's a certain time of day. And I knew not to call Walter then. And he says, you need to start doing the same thing. Stop having idle conversations with people about nothing. especially if it's not productive for you. And so I took that advice a couple of years ago, and I've been much better because I'm not spending all morning long talking about nothing. And I'm one of those people now that if you call me with a problem, we can talk about it maybe once and a good twice. But if you call me again about the same problem, I'm not answering the phone to you, because I don't want to hear about this person did this and that to you. And it's like, well, we talked about that 2 conversations ago, and here we are. So what I'm saying to you is not sinking in. So you're not allowed to waste my time anymore. And so let's see here. Stacy, you say, right, the Pioneer says, Rihanna is a very attractive woman. She can sell anything cosmetic because a woman subconsciously thinks if she uses Rihanna's makeup or showers with her soap, they'll end up looking like her. Well, that may be true. That's not why I use her stuff. I use some of her products because, for one, she's Black owned, and I like some of her products, like her lipsticks and eyeliner, things like that. I'm a bar soap fanatic, so I do plan on getting the soap. It's about $14. It's up there for a bar soap, but I'm imagining it's a good bar soap. But yeah, so some people probably do envision that, but and I don't mean to come off as mean to anybody. There's some people who are not as nearly attractive as Rihanna is, and they're wealthy, they're billionaires, right? Because they didn't allow, not saying this about you, Pioneer, but they didn't allow somebody to say to them, well, you're not attractive enough. You like Anita Baker. How many of us love Anita Baker? I love Anita Baker. I was listening to her yesterday as I was working. She was told by a whole bunch of record companies, you can't really sing. You ain't what we looking for. And the rest is history, right? So you just have to know what it is you're trying to do and go for it. And Pioneer says, I remember you saying that before, Queen. Isn't that rather rude to hang up on or refuse to answer a call from friends who call you up to discuss your problems? Laugh out loud. I mean, it's not rude if they continue to call you about the same thing, because they don't want help. They just want somebody to dump their problems on. Because, I mean, one of the things that I heard that has stuck with me a very long time is, who motivates the motivator? Like, or who inspires the person that does the inspiring? Who helps the person that's, giving the help? They got to draw inspiration from themselves sometimes. And so if somebody is calling you and talking about, oh, woe is me, this, that, and the other's going on, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's like, God damn it, I told you 2 conversations ago what to do. You just don't want to do it. So get off my phone. And if you're lucky, I might answer your call the next time if I'm not busy. But no, you don't. My mom used to say, ooh, my mom, she ain't here no more. But the things that she used to say, it rings true with me every day. She says, you can waste my time as long as you pay me. If you pay me, you can waste my time. But you're not going to waste my time for free. Have you ever tried to get time back? It's hard to get time back. And in fact, it's damn near impossible, because when the moment is gone, you got to wait for the next moment to come along. And so you got people on your phone or, wherever, wasting your time. You have to ask yourself, what did I get out of that? Because in essence, you become a trash can. You become a receptacle where people, they have all this garbage that's in their head, and then they call you, and then they dump and dump and dump and dump and dump, and you become that trash can. So now what are you going to do with the trash? What do you get to do with it? Who do you get to call and say, well, you know what? I just spent an hour with my homegirl. She's whining about her baby daddy and this, that, and the other. So now I'm going to call you and dump it on you. You probably don't have nobody you can do that to. So it's not being rude. It's being considerate of your time, because people are wasted if you let them. And yes, and Thunder, he says, can I use my home as a down payment to buy a multi-family unit?
You can. Actually, there's 2 ways to do it. Well, there's several ways to do it. And this is actually a really good idea. I'm in the process of doing this right now, actually. So if you have home equity, you can borrow against it normally, right? You have to apply for it and all that stuff. It's just ironic because it's your money, right? If you own a home that's worth $400,000 and you owe $100,000, the $300,000 equity belongs to you, but you got to fight like hell sometimes to get to it, right? So what a lot of people do is we'll have real estate and then we will refinance and pull cash out. And that's actually a strategy in real estate, is to buy a piece of property for a discount, fix it up. So if I buy it for 100 and I put 30 into it and now it's worth 250. You understand what I'm saying? So I've got 120,000 equity. And then what I'll do is I'll borrow against the value of the home, the 250. So if I can get 200 grand from it and I owe 130 in cost and repairs and whatever other fees, then I could take that 70,000 before fees and I could put that money somewhere else. And the cool thing about that is if you buy the right property, if you buy a multi-unit and the income from the multi-unit pays you enough money, the income from the multifamily could pay for the multifamily and pay for your house. So case in point, right? So I have this lake house in Texas. I think we paid $335 for it. We renovated it. Do you remember? It was a wreck. And so we've done a bunch of stuff to it. And with Airbnb, some of these properties could pull out between $4,000 to $7,000 a month. But if there was a negative or not a negative, but something that could be improved on is the particular house, if it's worth $540 and let's say I owe $200 on it, I have $300,000 wrapped up in that home. So if that particular home is paying me, let's say an average of $5,000 a month, what could I do with that $300,000 in equity to match or improve on that $5,000 while also giving me more opportunity? So for instance, in investment real estate, multifamily units, they generally want 20% down, 20 to 25%. Let's say you bought a building for $500,000 and you had to come in with 20%, then that's $100,000 down. So you have a $400,000 mortgage. So what if you had $300,000 and you took $100 and bought 2 multi-unit buildings for $500,000? You put down $100 and you owe $400 on each one. Right now I'm looking at a house in Texas, right? It's in what they call lower, like southern, eastern downtown. I don't know. It's this giant house, multi-family house. It has 21 bedrooms and they're asking $500,000. Right. And so the guy is right now, the rents are $350 a person because he hasn't raised the rent since Jesus was here the first time. So he goes running the rents. The rents are like $600 to $800 a person. I said, to rent a room, somebody's going to pay $600. He goes, yeah, they'll pay it. It's right downtown. It's a redevelopment district. You can see he was like, you can see the gentrification, and it sucks. We have to keep dealing with that word, but this is what the guy said. And so I'm doing the math. I'm like, what's 20 times 600? That's 12 grand on a $400,000 mortgage. Even at today's interest rates, I might be paying $3,000 a month for this mortgage plus other things. I might be $4 grand out the door in mortgage payments and taxes and insurance. But if it has a potential of $12,000 a month, then I go, oh, I can give them give them 100, pay a mortgage on 400,000. You see what I'm saying? And then I have $12,000 in income from this multi-unit versus 5 to 7 or 4 to 7,000 from this one Airbnb. The cool thing about buying a building for $500,000 is you still have an additional $200,000 left that you can go and duplicate that. So my thought process is to buy 2 of these shack, need a lot of work. I don't mean like Mr. Free Throw Shack, but like need a lot of work. Buy 2 of these, $100,000 each one. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now I'd have to find another 20-unit building, but I guess Texas is popular for a bunch of people living in one giant mansion. It's crazy to me, but I guess people say, hell, I need a place to live, right? And with the way the economy's going and things about to get smacked around, this may be a good time to have people that all live in one big house, like they do in Mexico, right? So my thing is, if I can get 2 of these that are paying me $12,000 a month, that's 24 grand with $200,000 down versus the 4 to 7 I'm getting from just one Airbnb. Now, if I could borrow that money, and that's actually what I'm trying to do now, is if I could borrow that money from the Airbnb and put that money to work and buy those other 2 units, and I still have my Airbnb that's paying me $4,000 to $7,000 a month. The crazy part is one of those units, apartment, one of those multifamily homes will pay the mortgage on both multifamilies and my Airbnb. Does that make sense? So one unit will pay for all 3 of my properties, and the other 2 properties, that income comes straight to me. And that's how people get rich in real estate. But you got to pull the trigger. I've been saying I want to buy an apartment building forever. But I started looking. There's this website. It's called, and I don't want to give too much financial information. I don't want to hit you with too much. But there's websites out there like LoopNet. There's a bunch of stuff out there where you can go and find these commercial buildings, and you can buy these. You can buy hotels on LoopNet. You can buy a 10-unit hotel room that needs work. I looked at buying a hotel. It needs a lot of work. But if they're going to sell me a hotel for $350,000 and it needs $200,000 worth of work, but I can turn it into some swanky, tucked away, high-end hotel. It's got 10 rooms at $200 a night. You got valet and somebody comes. You get the point. You make money in real estate by buying something and improving upon it and then making it worth more. So, and you guys, if any of you guys have been to downtown LA, probably downtown Houston or Atlanta. I don't know if you've ever been to Vine Street in Atlanta. You better run fast. But downtown LA was, like you wouldn't walk downtown LA. Now they got multi-million-dollar condos and 5-star Michelin star restaurants downtown it's just luxury, where 10 years ago, it was the shittiest place in America.
And now literally it is, because they have a lot of homelessness going on, and that now they're trying to move them out because, as you said, it's, LA is very high end. It's starting to be, but it can't be too high end. They got people, living on the streets, which, they should try to fix that. But that is kind of putting a damper on things there.
No, and that has nothing. My point being, it is easier to buy an apartment building than to buy a house. Period. If I buy an apartment, so let's say you have Tweedledum and you have Tweedle not so dumb. Tweedledum says, I want to buy a house, because a lot of people, I want to buy a house, I need to live, I want to own where I live. Why? Why would you want to own the house you live in versus having an apartment building that is paying for the apartment and your house at the same time? I'm not saying don't own your home. I'm saying get your investment real estate first. Does that make sense? So I didn't want to do the Airbnb, and then I talked myself into it after listening to a bunch of people tell me no, and I bought it. And so today someone checks in and they're paying $1,000 for 2 nights. And tomorrow at 1 p.m., they will deposit $1,000 into my account through PayPal. I love PayPal right now, baby. Shit, PayPal is on time. And Airbnb said they're paying you at 1 o'clock Pacific time. At 1:01, that money is in your bank. You can count on that shit like the clock will be wrong twice a day, assuming it's spinning. So with that being said, what if I just took that investment income, and what if I said, I'm going to get rid of everything, I'm just going to keep me a little house? Could I survive off $4,000 to $7,000 a month? The answer is hell yes. Even if I got me a trailer, RV, and I just got me an RV and I just drove around the country, visited my kids, hey, I'm plugging up to your house today. Don't mind if I use your sewage and your electricity. But I lived off this little $4,000 to $7,000 a month. I could do that for the rest of my life. Now, I'm not trusting Airbnb to be around, because Airbnb is under mad attack, which is why a lot of people are leaving Airbnb. What is not under attack is people paying their rent. So wouldn't it make sense and when you buy an apartment building or a multi-unit, they will take the income from that property and let you put it on your application as income. So going over with Tweedledum as hell, he's buying a house that's $700,000 or $400,000, and he's scraping up everything he can to qualify down payment, and now he's got one big ass debt payment. Do you see what I'm saying? If he would have bought the investment real estate first, that income he will then have income coming in. Then that income coming in could go on the application for his home purchase along with his own income. You see, that's the difference for a lot of people, especially Black people. is we just don't, we have the steps, but we won't stop and listen to it. Like D made a comment, this is the basically what she's saying is this the lowest rated show. This show will have the less amount of viewers. And she tried to say nice, so they busy, they got shit to do. They ain't got shit to do. If you ain't making money, what the hell are you doing? I guarantee you right now I call all my kids and say, hey, you know what? I've been thinking about you guys. I got $1,000 here for each one of you. I'll see you at 6:30 for dinner. They asses will be over here so quick, fast with the lightning. It wouldn't even be, man, I'll tell my, get your kids out the street. My kids are coming over. So it's only money. I don't care what it is. You and your woman are married and you wake up and she's got to go to work and you got to go to work. Most of your fights are in the morning before you guys go to work. Because she's like, I'm tired of working. Nigga, you need to do more to take care of me. And you like, I'm tired of you spending money. If you guys were moneyed up and in the game, then what if you could say, you know what? Today I'm not going to work. I'm going to spend it with you. Or however that song go. I'm going to spend it with you. Today I'm fucking with you. What if you could just do that? So if we just focus on the money, like you and your girl, I sound like Medea, you and your man, if you two focus on the money, what are we buying right now? What are we going to own? And the cool thing about ownership, which is the name of the show, if you own some shit, you can sell it. You could liquidate. You can say, you know what? I got 3 cars outside. I only need one of them. I'm going to sell 2. And I'm going to start my business. I'm going to pay my rent, my bills, my phone bill, whatever I got to do. That's why you take all your money, your extra money, and you buy stuff. Then when you need it, you could sell it or you could start a business with it. That's why ownership is so huge. Not shoes. Unless you got Christian Louis and you could actually sell them. Right? But there's a site called The Real World where they're half price. So even the Louis you bought for $1,500, they're on The Real World for $750.
Tell what is your ideology about? Because you said this one time. Say you shouldn't buy a pair of Christian Louboutins, red bottoms, that are $600 unless you're making, I think you said $600,000 or something like that.
Well, I might have been high when I said that, and I don't really smoke weed a lot. But I mean, I want a pair of Christian Louis. I do. There's something cool about those, man. Just walk behind me, will you? Right? Or what? Or go downstairs and watch me walk. Shit, I want some red bottoms. Those are so fly. But what I'm saying is you should have something that's producing an income to pay for those. Right? I mean, you should have nice stuff. I'm not going to sit there and say don't get nice stuff because you should have nice stuff. Period. But if, like, I have a friend of mine and I would never date her. I would never touch her kind. She is the whack. I went to her closet. Me and some friends went over there years ago, and she got 50 pair of shoes, even with the boxes and purses. The shoes in the boxes, Louis, Fendi, this, no Rihanna in the room, just Fendi and stuff everywhere. And I said, how much money you got saved? How much real estate do you own? Well, I like shoes. I was like, none of us in here gonna ever date you because you don't have shit. You got shoes. Versus saying, you know what's sexy to me? How you doing? My name is Lisa Ray or Lisa Bonet or any of those A's. And I own an apartment complex here downtown. It's got 20 units and it pays me $10,000 a month if I leave the house or not. That's sexy to me. You understand what I'm saying? Because then me and her can do some shit. And oh, that's so funny. It's true. But versus if you own something together, then you have so much power when you just, like, when you get paid, you and your spouse, whatever it is, whoever it is, say, we're going to take this money and buy something. And the weekend gigolo boogie party, we're going to pass on that. And you only have to pass on a few events, a few Christmases, a few Halloweens or Killoween or whatever, before you start on your way. So owning stuff and then credit. You guys, I swear to God, you can. This is why credit is so important. Do you realize you can build $1 billion business on credit? You guys remember Kanye West and his $50 million hole? He was $50 million in debt. But he used that money to get his clothing line and his brand and stuff going. Now he's got the money. He struggled with whatever he had to do with that debt, but now he's worth billions of dollars. And do you know how he built Yeezy? With credit. That's how, like when he was doing Through the Wire and finishing his album, man, we got him credit. I remember using his credit to pay for things and like his lifestyle and keep his image and him afloat. We would put, I'm not going to go into his personal business, but like, and he talks about the black card all the time that I got for him back in the early 2000s. But using your credit, you guys, and you guys in the South could do this. Navy Federal, I keep saying this, Navy Federal will loan you. I don't know what their credit scoring system is, but I can't really get my head on it, but I know a lot of people get approved with them, assuming you have some decent credit, right? You don't need a lot. They will, like for instance, you always hear me talk about the Audi S5, or sometimes. I've wanted an Audi S5 forever. And I was like, I don't have the space for it. So again, my reticular activator, not the Jerry curl juice, but in my brain, was thinking about an Audi S5. So I'm at this auto auction and I see an S5 parked over there. And so I just went up and I scanned it and I was like, oh, they only want $9,000 for this car. And so I called my bank, Navy Federal, and I say, I'm thinking about buying this Audi. How much will you loan me? And they said, oh, we'll give you $20,035. And so they gave me the loan. And I bought the Audi. My girlfriend, she took it to work today. And the other $11,000, guess where that money's at? I'm the ghost of Henry Hockett. That money is in my pocket. I don't know if y'all remember that quarter joke. So now the question is, what do I do with this $11,000? Navy Federal wants $189 a month or some crazy number. Or is it 180? I haven't even got my first bill yet. They want, let's just call it $200 and something a month to loan me $20,000. My question is, can I make $200 a month on $20,000? And the answer is what? All day. All day. You could take $100 or you could take $1,000, buy something and sell it for $1,300. You give them their $2 and you keep the $1. And you guys, this is not rocket science. We could all do this. All. And if you got a Fiat Spider, if it's paid off, Monet, you could borrow money against that Spider, go buy another car and put them both on Turo. You know what I'm saying? Or you could, man, there's so many ways to go if you guys are willing to listen. Turo is a good move. That's my Range Rover's on Turo, but I also borrowed almost $60,000 against a car I bought for $30,000. And so you understand what I'm saying? So credit is how you get rich, filthy rich in this country. Protecting your credit. So matter of fact, I was telling Dee on this house we're trying to buy, me and her can pitch in, a few of our friends will pitch in, and we'll buy this joint with 21 rooms in it. My sister can hit her credit card. She's good for 10. We can get on the phone with our friends and family after this podcast. We can raise 100. I know we can raise, like any of you guys on here could raise 100,000 for a good idea. Here's what I want you to imagine. Imagine pulling up to this building. It's the Roach Motel right now. It's blue, so it's the Blue Motel, right? But I might fix it up and call it the Blue House, BLU House, or BLUHOUS. See where I'm going with this? Because the neighborhood is being gentrified. The Germans are coming. We're going to give them a place to stay. So that's what I'm talking about, is you guys could do that. Now imagine driving up to this building and and I'm talking about me and my family because I don't really know you guys like that, but me and my family, we pull up and go, this is our shit. This is our piece of real estate. And we got 20 people in here paying their rent every month to the tune of $600. We're giving the bank $4,000 a month and we got 12 to split minus fees and the other stuff. Cash reserves and, that's it. You guys, it's that simple. And then you guys know worst come to worst, worst. is we could kick all the renters out and we could go live there. Now, I ain't trying to live with 21 people, but you guys think you said it yourself. Talam, you got to think like a Mexican. What do the Mexicans do? And the Chinese?
Well, I want to kind of just, explain that. And that I don't mean that we don't work hard, because we do work hard. A friend of mine by the name of he gave me a book called Hidden Secrets to Oriental Wealth. Gave it to me years ago. In fact, it's a what do you call it? What do you call an online book? Or you can read it online anyway. So it's a link. Huh?
Oh, you're talking about Kindle or Audible?
Something like that. So yeah, basically the premise of the book is that Asians, I know Oriental is kind of an outdated term, but that's the name of the book. And it was actually written by an Asian. But what they do is they do, and Mexicans too, they live in one house. They put all their resources together and they say, okay, now that we are here, yeah, it sucks. That's probably a lot of us living in one space, but we are here for a goal. So we're going to go work, bring our money in and say, all right, we have $10,000. What are we going to do with it? Well, it's kind of crowded here. Why don't we go get another house and some of us move there, and then we continue to work and build, and we get together again and say, okay, now we got $20,000. What should we do with it? How about we buy another property? And then so on and so forth. And so they start off all together. They don't waste their money. They don't care about, I need the west wing of the house. I just can't live with everybody. They don't have that attitude. They're like, if we got to have 5 people in the living room and 10 upstairs, so be it, because we are building, and pretty soon they own stuff. And that's what we're talking about, the power of ownership. They get all those other things out of their way, the things that, I hate to say it, but that normally trips us up. We are materialistic to a fault. I had a friend, it was just her and her daughter, and she just had to have this big, giant 5-bedroom house. And I'm not having nobody come live with me, and it's all this other stuff. She ends up losing the house because the mortgage is crazy, right? But imagine if she would have brought in some relatives and they could have said, okay, we're going to share the burden of the mortgage. Then we're going to save, and then we're going to, go get something else. And that way we can have our own spot and we can have some rental stuff. And so that's what I mean by that. I don't mean that we don't work hard as Black people. Sometimes we work hard, but we don't work hard together, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. Black people, we work hard. Matter of fact, we work too hard. I think the problem is not enough of us are working as hard. Okay.
That's what I was trying to say. Ebook. Thank you, Don.
Ebooks. Oh, that's back in the days. They still have ebooks. So, you guys, sometimes you have to make a sacrifice. Just for those of you that own investment real estate, just think of how cool it is that you have residual income just coming through the door. So now what it becomes is an addiction, because now instead of watching the Housewives of Atlanta Reloaded or Rebooted or whatever this shit is, I am now on YouTube. I'm on Airbnb for sales on my Facebook page, or I'm on multifamily sites, and I'm talking to other people that own real estate. And so now what happens, I go, okay, I own, the lake house, and we're building a house in the desert, but damn, between me and my girl, we got 3, 4 properties. That ain't shit. There's some people that have 20. And so now you go, okay, I got to move. Not that you need 20 to survive, but it becomes an addiction because you want to do better. And I think more is better because you have the ability to take care of more of your friends and family if you have more. Is there an income limit to FHA? I'm not sure, but you can Google it. That's a wonderful thing about Google is you can Google it. I don't know what the income limit is. I know FHA has some rules, but for the most part, they're pretty flexible. But whoever it is that's going to loan you the money, just get it from them, right? And we don't necessarily, and I'm going to say something that may be a little controversial. I think we as Black people, And I think we could get away. Not that FHA is bad, but if we could just look for us to get it done versus like, well, FHA or NACA or this or section this or section B20, whatever, can we do it? Right? Because banks will loan you money. You just have to be credit worthy or just have a plan.
And let me jump in there too. So I was watching a little bit of the Invest Fest that took place this weekend in Atlanta from that of Earn Your Leisure. They were the ones that held it, and they had other sponsors and stuff. But Tyler Perry said exactly what you said. He says, I became wealthy off of us. So he talked about the power of us being Black people. He says, I was making, 70, 80 million dollars a year, after he really started to do the movies and stuff like that. But he says, I couldn't have did that without us, collectively coming to see the movies, obviously him being Black, making the movies, whether you disagree with the caliber of movies he makes or not, he did it. And he says, I could not have done it with us collectively, coming together and supporting what he does. And so, like Walter said, yeah, we can get the money from, other entities, but that's the other thing that other groups of people do is that they do, as Don said, they practice group economics, and that they are able to loan each other the money. And they'll say, somebody will come and say, I'm thinking about buying that liquor store that's in the hood, right? I think it's a very good investment. And so they'll all get together and say, yeah, it sounds like a good investment. Well, how much do you think you need? I think I need about $50,000 to get it started. And they'll go get it. They don't go there. They might have it in a bank or something like that. But the point that I'm making is it's their money. So they're not going to other institutions. And they say, okay, once you get the store up and running, and you're in the black, then give us our money back so we can loan it to somebody else in our community to be wealthy. And so we need to get to that point because we do have the money, but we just misappropriate it.
Yeah, Tyler Perry, that's big of him to admit that. Like, what he would probably say to himself in a moment of silence is, I know Black people like buffoonery, and so I made a bunch of it. I love the Madea plays. I watch those plays all the time. I can't watch just movies and the shows. That's just, it's just niggerdom. I can't do it. But I like the plays because generally the Madea play, she'll drop science. But Black people, we love to be entertained and we love to laugh. And, some of it, like Tyler Perry, if you really look at his plays, I mean, they drop a lot of knowledge, but it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to say poking at Black fun or Black life, but you see the humor in Black life. If you look at a lot of people that have made money, they do it with the Black community because we consume, we buy. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many Black kids whose parents didn't own real estate, didn't have any stocks or bonds, have Air Jordans? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. Like, I remember Larry Miller, I believe his name. He's the guy that ran Brad and Jordan for a while. I remember talking to him on the phone once, and I just asked him a quick question about Air Jordan. And he didn't really want to go into the details, but I could tell he was like, you got these kids out here buying these shoes. You know what I'm saying? And then we consume stuff, and it's not all good for us. So if you want to make money off of Black people, figure out something they can consume. And I kind of think that's what he was saying. But the thing I like about Tyler Perry, from what I understand, is he's funneling that money in other places to help, like LeBron. They're helping other people. So that I can appreciate. But what we would need less of that. I mean, come on, you guys. And I'm saying not less us all together, but like you and your group. Just buy something. Somebody asked me about a franchise. I'm not familiar with franchises. I don't focus on those. But there's nothing stopping you from saying, hey, you own this little restaurant, man. Do you need some money? Can I buy into it? You have this food truck. I see every time I come over here, you out of orange soda. How about I finance the orange soda? I tell you what, I'll buy the sodas. You buy the meats. So now when people come up to your truck, They have meats and sodas, or they got chicken and sodas, or ludicrous chicken and beer, whatever. They have that, right? How many times have you been to an M&M's in LA or in Vegas and they're out of chicken? This is a chicken restaurant that is out of chicken. Like, Lord have mercy. So you can invest in something like that, right? Because I know right now, for food truck rolled up here with margaritas and like a beer on tap and some hot wings, I'd have my, even though I don't really eat like that, it would excite me enough to at least buy once to support the brother or whoever it is. The other thing, I saw a question about, do we know any black lenders? I don't. And honestly, would black lenders loan to black people? Seriously.
And the other thing with that is we can be the black lenders, just like, and I think Thunder, you probably wrote that after I said it's getting kind of crazy outside. This weather is tripping. That's why I keep looking out my window. But that's what other groups of people do. They are the lender to their own people. And in that book, that's Hidden Secrets to Oriental Wealth, they talk about, and I talk about this all the time because it really is simple. Instead of going out to eat or spending their money frivolously on like things like cereal, they'll buy a bag of rice and they'll do things like have cereal with rice in the morning. They'll make it cold or sweet. Then they'll have it with lunch and something and, dinner. And so what they do is they maximize this bag of rice opposed to, as they say, going out and buying a penny's worth of cereal, because by the time the cereal gets to the store, it ultimately gets to you. Most of the cost of the cereal goes on the transportation to transport the cereal, the box, the ingredients, which is, they say, it's about a penny's worth. When it's all said and done, you're paying for everything else around the cereal. And so why not just cut to the chase, get a staple like oatmeal or rice or something, and you do what you need to do with it, opposed to giving that money off. And so that's what they do. They save their money. They also, as I said, they live together. And they also keep their elders in the home with them. They don't have their elders in a nursing home or anywhere else, because they said the premise behind that is, and we do that in Africa as well, is to have the elders in the house, because not only can they help look after the kids, but they can also teach the kids stuff like, I don't know, maybe it's recipes or the way things were done and impart wisdom and things on them. And so they become the lender because they keep all the money as possible at home, opposed to like going to take your kid to a daycare, and to the tune of $1,000, however much you spend. My child is almost 30, so I don't know. Instead of you going to sending your kids to daycare, you have somebody in the house to look after them. Instead of going to the store and buying a whole bunch of processed foods, you get whole foods, and you learn how to cook, and you don't have everybody living in a big giant home to the tune of $3,000-$4,000 a month in mortgage. When, I mean, come on, if y'all see some of the sizes of these houses, like Walter's house, I know probably 6 people could live in that house. That's how big they're building these houses now. Y'all remember when we was coming up, and y'all ain't that much younger than us, but I remember when my sister and my brother and myself, we shared one giant room for a very long time.
It wasn't that giant. It wasn't that big.
Well,
I can touch the other bed from my bed. I can reach over and touch somebody.
But the point is, we shared a room, right? We had a 2-bedroom a house and 2-bedroom apartment with our parents for a long time. And so while it wasn't as big as I was thinking it was still enough room where we didn't have to have our own room over here and our own room over there. And you were able to, reach out and touch one another and say, hey, how you doing, right? So there's plenty of room. Walter, can you answer this question here?
Cut their ass loose. What's
Your spouse?
How is that? I hate to keep going back to Medea. Have you seen? Is it Medea's Medea's? What is it? Medea on the Run. Have you seen that play? Where the pastor married just like this like freak, this like young like hussy. You got to see Medea on the Run and play. That shit is hilarious. It said, cut that hoe and let it go, or something like that. If your spouse is tripping, here's how you do it. Seriously, you have to compartmentalize your relationship. Because me and my girlfriend, we still fight over money, but now it's, oh, you want to do this now, or I want to do this, or we fight over what to invest in. You understand what I'm saying? But before, she should just be on me because she didn't really like what I was doing. So what I said is, I'm gonna do it on my own. And there's some stuff that she wanted to do, she did on her own. So you separate and you just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm married to you, and for whatever reason you don't believe in what I'm doing or you don't like what I'm doing, I'm gonna do this on my own. And then when I see you, we can talk about something else. Or you have to let their ass go. Period. I'm serious. Man, I'm gonna be upfront. Shit. Sometimes me and my girl be talking, and I just be like, I'm gonna keep that thought to myself. But sometimes I go, man, if we weren't doing shit together, I would have been going a long time ago. And I know she said the same thing. Because sometimes you go, damn. And women, why do y'all just nitpick every damn thing? Like, Lord have mercy. Y'all gotta let some stuff go. Please, hallelujah. Just let it go. But seriously, sometimes you have to do your own thing. But just know, and you can remind your spouse, is I'm doing this for you. Right? Even who was it? I almost say, who was it that died on the cross? Even in the Bible, they talk about Jesus on the cross. He says, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. So what I do is when I have a disagreement with someone like that, I take that approach. Forgive them, they don't know what they do. But if I do my part, then one day they will know what I do. And that's the thing, is you have to keep going, because then a lot of times too, people will criticize you because they don't see you doing the work. Now, they don't have to see everything you're doing, but if they come home and it's 4:30 and you on episode number 6 of, The Young and the Restless, then that's your problem. I'll tell you guys something. Even if you watch The Young and the Restless all day, when your spouse come home, act like you're working. Act like you're doing something. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's yeah, y'all. I see everybody talking about this starting to storm and stuff where they are. It is almost like, I don't want to say pitch black, because that's obviously exaggerating, but it's pretty dark out there, and the trees are blowing and all of that. I don't like it. But anyway, yeah. So I want to just kind of piggyback on that. What if you have a spouse that's not supportive? That's a tough one. That's why it kind of makes sense to, during the courting process, before you make that leap of faith. I don't know why I'm turning blue here. It's kind of crazy. Before
it's
you,
the blue house. It's coming to you in your neighborhood. It's the blue house.
Before you take that leap of faith, make sure that person is on the same page as you. And unfortunately, those are the conversations we don't like to have with somebody that we are in love with. If I lose power, y'all, forgive me. I'll try to come back on here, but it's starting to glitch a little bit. Yeah, I mean, those are the kind of things you got to have conversations with up front. How do you feel about investing? How do you feel about buying a house? This, that, and the other. And if they're not answering the way you want them to answer, well, I don't want to sound like you're manipulative. If they're not saying the right things, then maybe that ain't the one for you.
No, hell no, it's not the one for you. Cut them loose. I can tell you right now, if I was single right now, knowing I know, there's most of the women that I meet, I would not date. I wouldn't do it. I don't care how cute you are, what's going on with you. If you're not about your money, I don't want to do it. Because one thing the guy hates once he gets his shit together is taking a girl out and she don't bring nothing to the table. She all she got is ID, and all she want to do is blow money. Those days are over. Like, women, you guys, you know how you get you a good man is you show up with a business plan. Baby, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it together. I can tell you, I'm going to call her my girl C. I ain't going to say her full name. I know her and her man has some issues. And I remember sitting down at the table, a bunch of us, and she was just like, I know what to do. Like, I'm going to back my man up in his businesses. And now they're a powerhouse. You cannot mess with this couple. And this was a couple on the brink of divorce. So you come with the plan and you work the plan. You women like being cute. And I know men are now, y'all doing it too. Men got sugar mamas. The whole world is up there. Young and the rest is back home. The whole world is the world that turns. What the hell's going on? But when you come to the table, bring something. I don't care how big your breasts are, how long your hair is. That stuff will fade. I promise you. Because I don't know who the brother was that said that. I wish I could go back to it. He made the comment of something like, maybe I'm getting it wrong, but if you're going to spend $400 a night on drinks with some hood rat, you can go to the massage parlor and get full. I think that's what he was saying. I can't get, he didn't say that specifically, but I hear a lot of people say that to be funny. But that is becoming a way of life for a lot of people. So what if you just, when you got with your couple, your spouse, you guys just worked on your business plan? Even if it doesn't seem like you can do it, just have it and just keep working it. Like me and my girlfriend are building a house and we keep the plans right here, like at this computer. Even when we're eating dinner, the plans are over there. It just reminds us that we have something to do. That's it. Do that. And make sure all your conversations, unless they're about, your family, leisure, make sure they're about progress. And then think about your relationship, because relationships will cut you loose. Financially, they will ruin you. I left my ex-wife, and I remember, and I'm not proud of this, but I remember saying to her, we should do this, we should do that. Oh, we have all these ideas. And she would just blow me off. Like, no, you can't do it. No, that's too hard. No, and do you remember this time I'm in the fight of my life and I got a headhunter calling me saying, I heard that you're struggling at your job, but you're really talented. I'm like, well, who told you that? Oh, your wife called us and said that you need help. I was like, wow, that's confidence. So I made a decision to leave right then. I made a decision to leave my wife, which is years before it actually left. I just had to make sure I could afford to leave. But I left and it was a stupid move because you don't leave your family, whatever. I made a mistake. I get it. But damn, when you and your woman have something together, like I used to always tell my ex, come to the office, put on some heels, put on something sexy, click clock, get up in here. Because my assistant has got her shirt buttons open, long hair and perfume and heels. You can hear her walking in the bathroom. That should be you. She's like, I don't want to work for you. But you want to take the money? So you guys, when it comes to picking a spouse, you have to look at it like that. You have to I'm watching this Korean show called Marriage and Desires. You probably see it on your Netflix. Be careful. You turn on a Korean show, they will bombard you. It'll be Korea City. But I like the show. This lady has this company called Rex, and they pick spouses based on money, power, and what they're doing with their life. I also just watched wedding proposal, this Indian couple and this family, same thing. What's he do for a living? Where does he stand? It's a really funny movie. The point I'm making is a lot of cultures make business decisions when it comes to relationship. Wouldn't it be easier to build a relationship with someone that you can get things done with? Because you can always learn to love somebody. And women, I know you know what I'm talking about. Because you love a man that got money, got his shit together. I guarantee you, if I rented a Ferrari and I pulled up in front of any mall and I just hollered at 100 women, I guarantee you 75 of them would give me their phone number. If I pull up in the B210, maybe 2 of them would give me their phone number. I'm not El DeBarge, so I don't have it like that. So sometimes I got to come with an asset.
You sure ain't, baby. You sure ain't El DeBarge.
Thanks for the cosign. But it's easier to make a decision based on what you can do. Like Janet said it the best. What have you done for me lately? What it should be is, what can we do together, baby? That would have been some better lyrics, right? Because together we can make it move. Some of you women that are getting left by your husbands, or some of you husbands that are getting left by your wives, guarantee you that stuff has a lot to do with it. Because it's hard to leave a man. Ladies, keep it real. It's hard to leave a man that got his shit together. Isn't it? Your man's coming home. He's like, baby, stay away from the utilities. I got that. Stay away from the rent. Stay away. Don't put gas in your car. I got it. I bet not see you putting air in your tire. You ain't going nowhere. He come home late sometimes. He can be like, oh, He's paying the utility. He's making sure utilities stay on.
Hey, he come home late once. All right, you come home late twice. I'm warming up the grits.
Well, I don't mean come home disrespectfully. I mean, like, he's a little bit late. He get off at 5. He's supposed to be home at 5:02, and you blowing him up at 5:02:30. That's what I'm talking about.
As long as it doesn't go past 5:05, he's good. I'm just kidding.
But ladies, man, whatever you could go to, like some of y'all need to work with your spouse. Man, I heard this dude in Amway say, behind every successful man is a woman, and most of the time, it's not his wife. He said this at a family function. Like Amway, they used to do Saturday night meet, like a Saturday night rah-rah, and then Sunday they would do this churchy feel kind of, praise God, but let's get the money at the same time. You went to Amway meetings with me, right? I'm sure you was in Amway. So
for a hot second.
Right. But what if we just focused on what we could get done together? Start with that. All that other stuff, because somebody that is too fat can lose weight. Somebody that is too skinny can gain weight. I'm down 30 pounds. I tell you, I was 30 pounds heavier 4 or 5 months ago. My girlfriend would make comments, but I noticed those comments have gone away. I don't hear them no more. So even though she was a crude, she was mean, she was a horrible person for making jokes about my stomach, I got tired of it. And now my stomach is flat and she can't say shit about it. She's going to find something else to bitch about, because that's what I feel like some women have to do no matter what's going on. But what if you could just hone in on your qualities and say, we're going to do this together? Start with the money. Buy something together. Because even if you and your spouse own some shit together, and you talk about breaking up, as me and my girlfriend has done 40 million times, we should just go our ways. Maybe I'm not the one. And I get to thinking, shit, we own this property together. And she sure is not going to let me pay her for what we bought it for, because it has appreciated. So I got to cash her out. So I'm like, maybe I won't leave her today. So I'm just joking around, but you get the point. That is what we should focus on. Maybe what you do for a living, or what are you doing with your life? Because what you do for a living, you can blow all that money, but what are you doing?
What do you have any dreams? Is it you like what inspires you? I don't want to say turn you on, because that could lead somewhere else. But what inspires you? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's an interesting question. What do you see yourself now? I kind of hate the question of what do you see yourself doing in 5 years, because it's like I think that's kind of a canned answer. But I like the question of what inspires you, what gets you up every day. What are you excited about? Right?
Yeah.
I'm turning blue again.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the blue house. It's the reticular activator of your internet.
The weather's getting bad. That's what it is.
If it makes you feel better, it's 95 degrees here in California. You can see the sun shining through my house.
I would give you the bird, but I don't want to do that on how. I don't want people to see me in that light.
It is hot here, Jesus, and then the wind is blowing like 1 mile an hour.
No, it's really bad here. So I think we probably should get off before I lose. God, Lord, please, Lord, don't let me lose power here. But I don't want to.
You need a generator.
Huh?
You need a generator.
I guess I do.
I mean, damn, I don't know. Everybody in Texas should have a generator. I mean, if you live in Texas and y'all have dealing with that weather, but again, it comes down to finances, right? Because those generators ain't cheap. But if you got good credit, you can finance one.
Or if you got a nice brother.
Shit. My house is rented. There's somebody staying there right now.
Hey, this house is rented too.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody's renting that house tonight.
Oh.
So the power go out, man. Airbnb has already sent my money. But no. Just buy something. Even, I don't care if it's a piece. Last week I said this, I think. Even if you own a piece of land and you park your RV on it, it's your land. You know what I'm saying? You just like froze up. You looking crazy. Thriller. Well, you know, somebody make a face and they get caught up in that face. But anyways, yeah. So her internet is going wacky, and that's like the scariest face ever. So anyways, I'm going to go through some of these comments. I'm going to give her a chance to figure out her screen. Otherwise, we're gonna have to put it into this because her internet is going out. So if you guys have any more questions, we can take these really quick. Otherwise, we can okay, there she goes. She's gone. So I'm gonna give her a second to come back. I will address some of these comments really quick. What in the hell? Oh hell no! I'm trying to make that shit up. What in the hell are you doing?
We don't have any power.
Your power's out. I was like, what
Yes.
in the hell?
It scared the crap out of me.
That's an album cover right there, for real. Erica Badu gonna be mad as hell. You saw her album cover.
I hate it. California, here I come.
If you had some if you go to www.lit1.com, you could get you some candles. And that way, when the power go out, you can have light. See, people thought I was a fool when I started making my own candles. The power can go out right now. I'm still gonna see. So
I got candles.
Huh?
I have candles.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You have to be ready. Now, if you had a Generac, right now you'd have power. Or you can get you one of those, or you can go on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp and get you one of those raggedy generators and keep some gas. I mean, yeah, it's your neighbor's gonna be mad, but you know what? Because of the noise, but you gonna have power. So it's funny. People say money is power.
Right.
I mean, but still, I mean, at least you got internet. You have your health and all that stuff. What is this? One hesitates when it comes to kids, but the property will have you banishing the idea. I don't really understand what that means. I'm not sure what that comment means. It's Nina Simone. Yeah, that's what it is. Nina Simone. That would be a good Nina Simone album. But you guys, if you own shit too, your kids sooner or later, they will figure it out. Because kids watch what you do. They may not do what you do right away, but they will sooner or later. They will. And if the kids don't, when you babysit the grandkids, you can talk to them.
Yes, indeed. So Pioneer, yes, it's not thundering yet. It's just really windy, like it's a storm or something that's trying to do whatever it's going to do, but it blew the power out, scared the crap out of me. Yeah, Texas is, I don't know, y'all. I might have to go back to California. I can't do this.
I don't know if the weather's that bad to come back to California. I'd rather deal with that shit.
Shit, no, you don't. This is like, wow, like, yeah, every time the wind blow harder than 3 miles an hour, there's like the electricity goes out. It's just absolutely maddening.
Yeah. He said you can plug you know what to do. You plug your phone into the computer. But I mean, Texas, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with the utility money, but they obviously ain't using it on their infrastructure. So that's giving liberals something to talk about. California rarely goes out. Oh, we call them rolling brownouts. I'm curious, Kimmy, what you mean. I kind of think I know what you mean by that, but I'll just be a little curious on a little what's the word I'm looking for? Interjection. Now I think all your power's out, right? For the whole neighborhood's probably out.
Yeah. I haven't went out there. It's raining pretty good, so I'm imagining it is.
Yeah.
Because I saw when I saw like a pop. So I'm imagining everybody's electricity is out.
Yeah. Get you a generator. I mean, everybody should have even at the lake house, I'm looking at getting a generator. I don't want one, but I know it's necessary for when the power goes out. And you guys, they have these gas generators. They run on propane, and they will run your house for months. For months. You can buy a 500 gallon tank? It's either 500 or 5,000. It's this huge tank that sits in your backyard, and you can plug a generator up to it, and it will run your house for a long, long time. So, and you can finance those. And you guys, this with D is what's happening over here with Erica Badu, Nina Simone, is what some of y'all it's gonna happen to a lot of people. Because what if the power just gets cut? Like, Kimmy talked about brownouts. What if they was like, okay, we're gonna cut the power out to the brown people? What you gonna do? I'm not saying they would do that because they've never done nothing crazy like that, right? So
I
they
don't
probably
know. Mama, get out of here because it's raining and windy pretty bad. I'm sitting by this window, so it's the only light in the house.
Yeah, you better take cover.
I am, because I'm sure they're probably saying it's a get in the closet somewhere. It's a storm or brewing or something crazy.
Oh, all right, Kimmy. Thanks for the correction. So out here they call it a blackout. So I've never heard of a brownout, but it's probably the same thing. We don't have them that much out here, but we are having a drought. So, anyways, y'all, stay safe. Go out, buy something. Go to LoopNet. Start looking. You can even buy a commercial property for $50,000 or if you go to Airbnb Homes for Sale, there are people that are selling homes for like 15, 20,000 bucks, rehab homes and stuff like that. So there's things out there that you can buy, and some of you could dip into your credit cards, your 401ks, things you could sell, and you could go make a down payment on one of these small properties and even give yourself, like if you and your spouse are working on a small fixer-upper, that would give you guys something to do and talk about. So.
All right, y'all. Love y'all. Gotta go. It's getting pretty bad out here. So hopefully my power comes on sooner than later. I'll keep you guys posted, but most definitely I'll be back here with Donovan on Sunday and look for my videos throughout the week. If my power comes back on, it will. I just don't know when. So you guys take care. See y'all later. Peace.
Right.